Welcome to the good, the bad, and the sequel. This is the movie podcast where we're talking sequels, and we do it in two parts. The first, an interview with an actor or someone involved that made the film worth watching, and the second, a discussion of the sequel, what they got right, what they got wrong, and how it could have been better. Hope you enjoyed last week's interview with a person that got me into loving sequels, USA's Up All Night, Rhonda Shear. We talked about things about her career that you wouldn't know. You think of her like, oh, I remember seeing her on like QVC. She was on Up All Night. You'd see her in movies here and there, like the sequel we're going to be covering, Return to Frogtown, Spaceballs, and a bunch of others. It was pretty wild to hear about her stand-up career, some cool connections with Jay Leno. So if you haven't listened to that interview, make sure you check it out. And also make sure you check her out because she's rebooting Up All Night on YouTube, and it's going to be awesome. So that'll be really cool. And wow, I am so excited to talk about this week's sequel. Maybe bring out a book. People that are listening, you won't know I have a beautiful story about Frog and Toad. And it's perfectly fitting for this week's sequel, Return to Frogtown. Before I ribbit any more about this, I got to introduce you to my partner in this sequel watching journey, Jamie Riccardi. Jamie, how are you?
Doug?
Yes?
I almost feel like I keep saying the same thing over and over again.
I quit.
Well, movies like this make me consider it. Makes me want to croak.
Okay, I like it.
I'm just saying this after watching this movie, and we've seen a lot of bad ones, and I keep changing my Mount Rushmore of bad movies.
Mhm.
This is in the top 3. This movie I thought was absolutely brutal. I don't even know what the audience is because it's filmed like first of all, it's filmed like a college, like a student film, the way it's filmed. The costumes are absolutely awful.
Wait,
The
and they can't
ADR
afford more than like 3 frog masks.
Oh,
because the other people just have
painted,
they have green paint and they're covered with like
Again,
a robe.
a student film, like easily could have
Yeah.
made this. And watching a movie like this, I say this, like, I question why couldn't I have made a movie or been part of because like, are those people in SAG? Like, is that considered SAG worthy? Like,
Well, what do you mean, the frogs? Because a lot of those people are definitely in SAG. Former guest Denise Duff is in SAG.
but in general, like, I mean, yeah, she's in SAG now, but was she in SAG back then?
Well, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
This movie's terrible. Terrible. And it's not even a sequel. I mean, let's be honest. It's not a sequel.
It is a sequel. They're going back to Frogtown.
Oh, it's funny because it's the same character but different actors. That's a good sequel, right?
Oh,
Isn't it?
Wait, is Piper's name Sam Hell in the original?
I think so.
Man, I hope not. God, that would like kind of ruin this for me.
I could be wrong. But isn't it Hell Goes to Frogtown? It is, see? So it's the same character, completely different. Like, they didn't even try to get someone similar. And I gotta be honest, he's not really a good leading man. I mean, it's... And one last thing before we get...
I cannot believe it's Sam Hell.
You didn't know that?
The same name? No, I don't. It makes sense now.
It's called Hell Goes to Frogtown. How'd you not? Oh my
Could
gosh.
be his brother.
Oh my gosh. That would have been a little better. But the last thing I'm going to say, and then we go to our guest. You have someone like Lou Ferrigno in here. I'm expecting like a Hulk Lou Ferrigno something. I don't think he did anything in this movie.
He just turned green, like he's done previously in his career for
like
8 years.
they made him act more than do anything else. Like I expect like a fight, at least something, like maybe turn him bad and let him fight. Like nothing. Like they didn't use him. Like, why use Lou Ferrigno in a movie like this if you're not going to use Lou Ferrigno? Movie's awful. Go
okay,
ahead.
well, we didn't introduce our guest. He is our bad movie sequel expert. He's seen Flying Piranhas.
Much better.
He's dealt with Munchie.
Much better.
And Munchie Strikes Back.
Much better.
He also, a ton, I'm not going to name all of them, but he also has a history of movies that don't have the right mass or not enough mass. When we talk about the Howling 2. My pal and your bad movie sequel expert, Nick Sperdone. Nick, how are you, man?
Doug, I haven't asked you this question since Munchie, which was the first time I've been on this podcast, but have I wronged you in some way, or do I owe you some sort of money, or but no, Doug, Jamie, it's great to see you guys. Thanks for bringing me back to Frogtown with you guys. And
is this the worst movie you've ever seen with us?
Oh, by far, yeah.
Okay.
This... It's this movie makes Munchie look like Citizen Kane.
Oh my gosh. I did not going into this movie. You know, I saw clips of the first one. I never really saw the full thing, but I didn't.
The first one's wild. Do you know the plot of the first one?
Yeah, no, I know. Something that he has to have sex with them or something, or so I don't know.
He has to have sex with the women. All
Yeah.
the hottest women in the world.
Yeah.
That's the only people left, the hot women.
Yeah.
And he has to impregnate them to get more of them.
Correct.
Yeah.
This movie, not that I was expecting anything great. It's not what I mean, watching it, I felt like I was watching like a not even a B flick, like an L flick. If you could, or Z, I'm gonna say a Z flick of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like, it's like, what's the audience for this movie? Like, is it adults? Like, who's watching this besides people that are doing podcasts or sequels?
I don't know who's watching it, and I'm gonna agree, it's not a great movie at all.
Okay.
Like, it's one of the worst sequels.
Great, not a great movie. I can't believe you had the nerve to throw in great in there. Like, you could have said it's not a movie. Like, I would even go, it's not even a movie, you know. But how about the fact that they made another one after this?
I did see that. That's definitely wow. And it was called Toad Warrior?
Something like, insane. Like, this movie did that well, they're going to make another one?
Yeah. The only thing I can say is this is one of those movies I'm happy that I got to see, because there's things from this movie that we'll remember from the podcast. And so I see some future sequel award nominees in here for sure.
I'm sure we I was waiting for this.
Insane.
Doug, this has been the year of terrible movies. We could have done without this one. You know, for you to say, like, I'm glad we saw it so we can bring it up during our awards. You know what? We have a lot of ammunition for the awards. We didn't need this movie. And this was rough. This was, at least I think at every bad movie, there might be one scene that I could be like, all right, you know, I could maybe smile or something. There was no emotion. The only emotion in this movie, it was just like, how much longer is this movie? Like, that was the only emotion.
But there was a lot of questions brought up about this movie that we'll get into, but things that I was like, did they really do that? Or did they leave that in? One thing I have to say, this movie only, I would have to guess, because it's not available everywhere. This movie must not have much money. Yeah, because the only place you find it is on YouTube, and even posters when you search for it, they have European, it's in European language, like German and stuff. But it's insane that this movie seems like it wasn't edited. The line readage that they use in the movie, like that we see, and I'm not saying the rest of it is like the greatest ever, but it almost was like they were like, all right, just run it through real quick. There's lines that Denise says, and she's a pretty good actress, that are so like monotone. Like, it was almost like they were probably like, hey, just give it a shot. And then like, all right, we're done for the day.
A lot of ADR in this movie. A lot.
Oh,
and the masks made Munchie look incredible.
I know, dude.
I mean, like, it was so, like, honestly, like, I think if students in a film college studied this movie and said, you know what, let's recreate it, they easily can make this movie the same. It was just very like lame, like cheesy. Like, it was just, and how about the fact that we have 2 Tango and Cash villains in this movie?
I know, dude. Yeah, Brian James, and he got a special guest appearance in the credits.
Oh my god! And the way he talked, like, you know, we've seen him 1,000 times in movies, and he's always a villain, he's always a bad guy. But like, if you told me that, you know, this bad guy that we see in every movie, I mean, he's in so many bad guy movies, that he's gonna be a nerd and like talk like that, like I would never, like, insane.
He probably loved it, right? The opportunity. You're always a serious henchman. The only other movie I remember him in is that movie that I love with Billy Blanks. God, what the heck is the name of it? I should know off the top of my head. But anyway, it's like a karate movie. Ben Stiller's wife. It's like her first film. He plays like the principal in that movie, and he's kind of just like a prick principal. But dude, yeah, to see him in it, he was eating up, chewing the scenery.
Yeah. And he's a man of many accents because I mean, Tango and Cash wasn't he like Australian or something? Like
yeah.
yeah. I mean, so yeah, it's insane. But yeah,
He nails it. He nails it.
yeah. I mean, he goes all out in it. I mean, but it almost looks like what was the vibe on set? Like in his scenes, right? Like he's so over the top as a nerdy scientist, so over the top. It's almost like a Halloween. It almost looked like a play. Like this could have been like an off-Broadway play. The way they acted and everything else, it was like just so bad, so bad.
Is it bad that I thought when I first saw him that he was Carrot Top?
He looks like he could be Carrot Top.
I thought I was like, oh, but the timeline doesn't match up. So
no, it definitely doesn't match up. And and if it did match up, he would be skinny Carrot Top, not like juiced Carrot Top.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
So you're saying that every redhead
Carrot
with like Bozo the Clown hair looks like Carrot Top. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's get into this. We meet the Frogmeister, and we for people that don't know this, this whole movie is about the frog. I don't remember in the original. Do they mention how frogs became the size of people and walk like people and talk like people? Like, I don't know if that's ever discussed, but the whole point of this movie, they're trying to rise up from the humans who like basically put them into one section of the United States.
It's
Texas,
like Planet of
right?
the Apes.
Yeah, sort of, I guess, in a way. In this, it was basically like almost like Native Americans, to be honest, like in history. Here's your section.
Are they trying to turn people into frogs? Is that where they're
Well, that's
doing?
what the frogs want to. Yeah, that's their
like.
No,
plan.
that's what I'm saying. So how many of those frogs are human?
They never. According to the scientists, this is like the first time they're doing it. They're trying to develop it so it's so fast. How long is it taking with Ferrigno? They keep pumping him up like every.
Well,
hour.
he is a big guy. I mean, But okay, so then my question is: the girl, is she a frog? Like, what is she?
Oh, the frog woman?
She has a girl mouth. Like in the original, there's a stripper and you see her, and she has a frog mouth. So that's to me a full frog. She's got to be part, right?
So she was part of the experiments. You're saying?
I would guess that, yeah.
Because she did nothing frog-like at all in this movie.
They just didn't finish
Except
her.
for-
They didn't give her
Her
enough
tongue
juice.
was green.
That's frog-like. Wait, first of all, frogs' tongues are red.
They're not. Well, I don't think they're red.
They're not
right?
green.
Aren't
Yes,
they
they
like
are.
a light pink.
When they shoot it out of their mouth to grab a fly, it's always red, isn't it? Red, pink. Okay, red and pink a lot closer than green. It's not green. They don't have green tongues.
She did.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, like, is she a frog? Like, I don't know what she was. Like,
They might have gotten that one thing wrong. That they might have.
Yeah, but that was the one.
the one thing they overlooked.
they got a lot of things wrong in this movie. I don't know about one thing.
So now we meet for the
how did they
first
get
time.
the green
Yeah.
light? Green light for this movie.
Ah,
I mean, seriously, I would love to know what the budget was for this.
Roddy Piper must have been hopping mad and missing out on this movie.
Oh, we're here all night. Oh my gosh.
So now we get the first time we meet like the Rangers. They don't have do they even have a budget online?
All right. So the Rangers.
see
Can I
anything
ask
pop up.
you?
Yeah.
What's the point of their ridiculous helmet?
It almost reminded me of the Rocketeer.
Yeah,
No, I mean this helmet, or how about when they just turn the knob left and right and then start to fly?
But the helmet looks like Buster Poindexter. Like,
Dude,
what's the point?
this is the best part of this clip. Dude, they filmed this at like definitely like a dude ranch. Right there on the jail cell, it just says jail written in marker on a piece of paper.
I never noticed that.
That no
That's funny.
joke is the
That's funny.
funniest.
That's
part
funny.
Of that.
That is very funny. Well, you had how is the audience supposed to know that's a jail?
Howard.
He's like his mask is like the
It's like a duck
Rocketeer
bill.
that
No,
can't get
you know,
hard.
The mask looks like Spy
Like
vs Spy.
Or like a
He's just
pelican or something.
Well, Spy. Remember Spy vs Spy with the
Yeah,
red?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what they
yeah.
look like, but had a
Yeah.
Rocketeer like obviously outfit and everything else. But like,
Yeah,
so what do you think the point of that mask is? Because to me, I feel like it would be like a hindrance. First of all, it looks heavy, Like, and it looks lopsided, like because it has that big thing in the front. Like, what's in there? Like,
Dude, but just the way they're like this.
It's for aerodynamics. It's the way the wind.
They never look up. They're always looking down. They could be running.
Well, because it's so heavy, they can't.
A plane, a big,
Because it's top heavy, so they can't lift up. That's probably why. It just makes no sense. It makes no sense.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
And honestly, the main guy, what's his name?
Zadar.
Robert Zadar.
He's not a leading actor. I mean, like,
that chin, dude.
Oh, and when they he's got something wrong with him, right? That's why his chin's like that. Like he was born with it's some kind of deformity that the chin doesn't form all the way, so it gives him. Yeah, I had to look him up, and it's something like that. So that's why. So
at least he was good with all the jokes about it in all the movies.
Oh, 100%.
You broke that chin.
The best line. That's awesome. But when you, I mean, first of all, when you see him flying around, he's a big guy. It does not look like him when he's in the air. Like it's a skinny guy flying around, like So I mean, it's ridiculous.
So then we see him land, right? We see Ferrigno. He gets over there. He's like walking. Right, he gets shot down right away.
He gets shot down.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? This is happening during the opening credits, almost like a TV show.
Yeah.
Movies usually don't do, because it was cutting away to show us names and just like scenery, because that's where it said special guest appearance by Brian James. But we had our first arrow death. We had like a cool, not saying it was a cool death. I'm like, maybe this could be something, like maybe some good fights, but because of the masks, they couldn't fight. One frog was
they couldn't
not
see.
moving.
I don't think they could see out of those masks. Like it really looked like they could. I mean, the fights are super lame. Like, it was like play acting. Like it looked like a cosplay kind of like theater production. That's what it looked like.
I knew we were in for a time when one of the lines the guy says is "grab the war guns," and I'm like, is there war guns and peace guns?
Oh, I thought when you heard "ribbit" for the first time, I thought that was going to tell you how good this movie is going to be. Because they speak English, but once in a while they throw a ribbit in.
Every once in a while, you just have to remind everyone, like, we are frogs after all.
Oh, and I mean, I thought it was challenging to understand anything they were saying because it sounded like they were literally speaking through the mask without a microphone in there.
Oh, dude,
it was so muffled.
I bet you that happened because if they didn't have the budget, they couldn't ADR it. And when I talked to future guest Melody K, who was in Camp Nowhere, she was in Never Ending Story 3. She told me that's what happened in Never Ending Story 3, that they couldn't do the voice actors because of the end of the film. So those are the guys in the mask not thinking, hey, this is going to make the movie. I'm just going to throw this line in there. Some of the people actually are into it in that movie. But yeah, dude, in this, you can definitely tell. There's a few, it's so faint and sound like scared to speak.
Yeah, and it's muffled, and it's like it's almost embarrassing. Like if this is almost like show this to the student, in college. This is what not to do. Like this movie is what not to do, and because again, they're speaking under a mask, and you can barely hear it, and it's like Ugh.
I thought they had asked Lou Ferrigno to overdub all the the lines for all the bad guys. They're like, we have no lines for the bad guys, Lou. We have you for an afternoon. Just go in and riff some stuff. And he's like, stop it,
mumble.
Well, the thing with Lou Ferrigno, I felt like in the beginning they ADR'd him, and then there's parts of the movie where he's speaking,
he's talking,
and you could, because he's deaf, you could hear his reels. So like his voice completely changes halfway in the movie.
It's like his Hercules movie. You guys ever see this Hercules movie where
I saw clips, but that's the thing though. If you're gonna ADR, then do it the whole way. Don't do half of the movie ADR with like a normal sounding voice, and then you have him speaking later on. It's like this is the same guy.
It's very disorienting.
It is. Oh my gosh.
Oh man! So the one thing I did love for the shots they used to make it seem like flying, all they did was showed like a regular plane with a vapor trail. And that's what they were making you pretend was the Rocket Rangers, Texas Rocket Ranger, right? Oh my god,
Texas Rocket.
And then
Rangers.
We have Rhonda Shear, even on a fuzzy, grainy TV, still an absolute smoke show.
So was she a computer, or was she like at another location speaking to them? Because I felt like it.
Oh, I think another location. I hope.
I don't
hope
think
it
so.
was,
See, I
they
was
don't
getting
security cameras in this movie.
I-
So
Yeah, but he was like
it's,
he was hitting on her. The guy that's in every movie. What's his name? The guy.
dude.
He's in every movie.
Charles Napier.
Charles Napier.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
And he was hitting on her, and like it almost. I feel like she was supposed to be like AI. I think she was like Max
maybe.
Headroom.
I
or
thought
something like that.
I thought she was supposed to be like Jarvis is for Iron Man.
That's what I mean.
Right.
Right. I think she's like Max
Like,
Headroom Jarvis.
He sees her.
Yeah.
He sees her in his helmet, and
Or-
is like,
Yeah. I don't think she was real. Because I mean, what other location was there? They didn't speak of any other location. So
Yeah.
Okay.
She looks great. So now, like at this point, it's so funny. Like you talking about two people. Obviously, Ferrigno was named Zadar. If you liked like B movies, you know who he was. But I love how they kind of hid. We didn't know it was Ferrigno yet. We only see his back, and then when we see him like in the town, is where we actually like go like, oh, that's him. And dude, what? It's insane that we have. When you see Zadar for the first time, even though I've seen him in other things, I thought of Tony Clifton from Man on the Moon, like Andy Kaufman's character.
yeah, I mean, listen, in this
Dude,
movie
it's
with that mustache,
crazy.
I agree.
Dude.
He looks very waxy and like he definitely looks a little weird. I mean, the
'Cause
mustache
that was the
doesn't help.
reveal. They were basically like,
Yep.
"Oh no, this isn't Zadar. This is Ferrigno.
Yeah.
He has the shotgun
Yeah.
on him. He's knocked out." And then we cut to meet Sam Hill for the first time.
Well,
And dude, the dialogue back and forth about what this whole war is we don't want frogs to have guns, and then he calls them greeners, like a slur, and he says it a lot in this movie.
I didn't realize it was a slur at first. I thought that was like what they were called, but yeah, I
Those
guess
damn greeners.
yes.
I'm like,
can't say
"What?"
that. Shh.
So ridiculous.
Can't say that.
Yeah, is that ridiculous, or is it ridiculous that we have a Dr. Spengler who has never met Sam Hill? Has never met, right? And she, I want you to work with her, Charles Napier. I want you to work with her. And then in seconds, she's flying? Or is this the mode of transportation in this time?
Well, considering there's only 3 people, like it seems there's only 3 Rocketeers, and the guy, because did you see anyone else there's no, oh, actually, I'm sorry, the one guy at the end shows up. There's
Patch
one guy.
Adams.
Oh,
Well,
oh wait,
okay.
you mean the drummer from the Buddy Holly story? That's the only thing I know him from.
Okay. Is there a reason why? I understand people wear a patch, right? You know, either they're having surgery in their eye, or they're missing an eye, and or they want to be a pirate, right? But he sleeps with his patch on.
Or they want to be
Because-
Kurt Russell from Escape from New
right.
York.
But there was a scene where he gets up in the middle of the night, he's sleeping with his patch on. So people with patches just wear it all the time?
I guess so, right? You're probably so
No.
used to it.
No, you take it off. Why would you wear your patch to bed? Like if you wear your patch all the time, you're gonna start getting a major indent in the back of your head with the elastic. You know, like I mean, like I don't. I would think. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, you
know
probably
anyone-
traded for a sleep mask. The pirates take that off. They put on a pink
That's-
sleep mask to cover.
No, well, they only put a sleep mask on one eye.
Oh, one
they
eye.
only have
That's-
it on
that's-
two.
that's-
So
that's
that's
his
what you
other
mean. They
patch.
changed that to a sleep, and they just move it over.
I mean,
Hey,
first of
flip-
all,
flip it.
are there patches today? Like, do people walk around with patches today? You don't see it
There's
too
a guy
often.
in Congress that has a patch. Yeah, people.
Oh, that
walk
is true.
around.
Yeah, he does have it. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you think you really think he sleeps with his patch on?
I don't know. If
Now,
have
are
a
they
patch,
Congress?
if
are
you're
they-
listening,
Congress?
at Seagulls Only, let us know.
Are they waterproof? Like, can you shower with the patch on?
Oh, do you go in a pool with a patch? You got to. They got to be
If-
waterproof.
Okay. If you're gonna
patches.
you wear goggles in the pool. Do you have to wear the goggles over the patch? Like, because the patch is not gonna fit under the goggles.
Yeah, you can't wear one
the-
goggle.
No,
It'd be
you
hard
wear
to
the
wear
face-
one goggle, right?
Why? It'd be like a monocle. They don't
I
sell
was
one
just
goggles.
about to ask
Underwater,
it. Like, patch and a monocle.
Listen, there's a lot of patch questions. I'm just curious.
Well,
Okay.
we'll patch it. We'll patch it through to the right
Oh,
people. and
here.
Get you those answers.
You're on a
But
roll
pirates
tonight.
must have. I guess leather was waterproof, right? It must have been for them. The pirates had whatever
Wait,
the pirates use. No,
leather
leather
doesn't
gets all
shrink?
grimy.
Yeah, but leather shrinks.
It gets
Yeah,
like dirty.
It gets like
can
very
shrink.
hard, right? It doesn't get
Yeah.
the softness anymore.
That's what she said.
Pirates use something. Arr. So now we have dude, and then we get the name of someone in the next scene. When we get Ferrigno, and I love Lou Ferrigno, but I wrote, God, he's the worst actor. Some of the dialogue back and forth, but I love that he's talking to a guy named Commander Toady. Then we meet the hot frog nurse for the first time, who at this point, we don't understand what her motive is when she jumps on him. Now we know later in the movie, she just wants a human bad, like in the worst way, because she's giving him the shot and is like grinding on him.
So there's a lot of questions here. So
I'm here for it.
Okay. So first of all, I mean, they obviously were not creative with any of the names whatsoever because they had to throw Toad in every name. You know, like they had.
I like
right?
the Frogmeister.
Oh, Frog. I mean, or Frog. That's what I meant. Frogmeister or whatever. But so the nurse, we're under the assumption that she was a regular human who's getting the shots and turning into a frog, but she's not really a frog. What's her motivation of staying there? Like, why is she
has
like?
To? How does she leave?
Why?
You can't just leave Frogtown, right?
Why? She's a frog. They don't. She has no restraints on her. There's no like. I'm just curious. Like, what's her motivation of staying there? Like, is she like?
They could have easily fixed that. That she was like working with the scientists to try to get like the anti-serum or whatever to like fix her or something, and that's why she's staying behind. It's such an easy fix.
They could have given her maybe change her ears or something, like to make her look like a little bit more froggy.
And her tongue. Change your tongue too, because it's
well, again, they made it green,
accurate.
but I don't think they looked at that. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know what her motivation was of staying there because, like, because clearly
She's pretty hot.
She was.
It's the only way. It's the only way she can meet guys.
They should have gave it like.
Did you think? I don't know what it was. Well, I'm just gonna mention now before I forget because I don't know if I wrote it down. But like later in the scene when she takes her outfit off, I don't know why I just didn't notice if her skin was green. Like everything.
No, it was.
But when she dropped the thing and she was in like lingerie and you saw a green butt, I'm like, this is weird.
Do you think she had like frog boobs?
I've never seen a frog.
Ask Robert Zadar.
Well,
he got a face full of them.
Well, okay. Well, frogs aren't considered mammals, so I was going to say, do they milk their young? Like, so do you think like that she have like multiple nipples? Do frogs have multiple nipples?
I don't know.
Someone Google search that.
I'm going to say no because it's not a mammal. So, right?
Yeah, I don't want ads on my TV or anything of like
frog nipples.
Your search history is.
Yeah. But you know what? He really didn't seem that shocked. Like, I mean, okay, he didn't question anything. Or when she was sitting on Cesar or whatever, like who she was sitting on, I forget. I mean, my mind went. Did she hit on both Ferrigno and
she was going? Yeah, first she was with Ferrigno. Like this won't hurt. Like this won't hurt.
No one batted an eye that the fact that it is a green woman. Like they didn't even like. It wasn't like. Wouldn't you kind of in a way be like, all right, this could be a little gross. Like I don't know what she is. Like I'm gonna like I don't care what she looks like. She's still green for a reason. Like no, like not even a batting an eye that, all right, well, she could be an alien. She could be whatever. Like, like, I don't know. They accepted it like way too easy.
I know. Yeah.
I feel like they could. So now they felt like they can use her to like ensnare like a siren to ensnare humans that come back and like they can experiment on.
Well, I understand why the frogs. I'm saying the humans.
Oh,
they didn't question the fact that like, why is she green? Like no one even tried to help her. I don't think they even tried to help her.
No, they didn't take her away.
She was going
to help her.
Yes.
And then at the end, she stayed.
Which made no sense because she even said, "Can I go with you? Take me with you."
Yeah, take me with you.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So why did she stay in the background, like in the back?
He just said, "Yeah," just to like lead her, string her along. Because he's like, "Yeah, help me, I'll help you." Well, Oyster was like, "Help me, I'll do this." But we'll get to that when we get there.
All right,
so how about like Eye Patch when we met him for the first time, and he's like telling us a story, and then the worst. Oh my god, I was dying. Again, like I think a lot of this movie is one take. Like, okay, guys, we don't have enough for more film because when he wakes up and he like sees a frog and he's like dreaming, and then you show him and he's snoring and it's so fake and loud,
well,
like, just absolutely ridiculous.
How about that? His house is the size of a shed.
Oh my god!
Oh, he lives in a shed.
It's a shed. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty shad.
So now they have to go. So now Dr. Spangler and Sam Hell, they're like, all right, we have to go get Lou Ferrigno, because at this point he's like turning into a frog. So now they're on like this dune buggy car that has like that big machine gun to the back of it. And I love the song Kicking the Frog. Is the song that's played. You know, one thing I love about this movie, just it's like they felt like, all right, guys, we got to get to a certain runtime, because every song we heard the whole song.
It was such a long montage.
The driving of the 100%. I mean, like, yeah,
dude.
And the way it looked, again, it looked like you could have filmed it on a regular camcorder. Like the way, like like in the background, it was just so cheesy. And again, the Patch somehow had this dune buggy machine gun thing, you know, in the middle of the woods in his shed, which is right there. Like, where'd he get all this stuff from? Where'd he get it from?
Yeah.
He's in the middle of nowhere.
Why did the frogmen come and take him out? Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense. Like,
yeah.
So here are the 4 songs in the movie and the artist, and I think you're gonna laugh your ass off. So it's the first one is the one I just mentioned, was Kicking the Frog, written and performed by Alan, middle initial G, last name is T-Man. T-Man. Alan G, the man, I guess. The man. Meaner and Greener, written and performed by Sam Mann. And then Frogtown, the title song, probably in the first movie and this one, written and performed by Terry Jones Rogers of the rock band Birds. They have some hits too. So then he's like somehow doing this one.
They sang Turn, Turn, Turn. I think the Birds.
Yeah. So Terry Jones sang.
So you had 2 singers named Man? Or the
we had Man and T-Man. Yeah, Alan G, T-Man, and then Sam Man double N. Yeah.
So they just randomly have 2 guys with last name Man writing songs for this, or performing songs.
Yeah. And then the last one, just in case he's listening, The Great Green Groove, written and performed by Mark Karen.
So these songs were written for this movie?
These are all written. I hope so. I hope somebody didn't write a song. Dude, the song Meaner Greener has a line that is, Meaner, Greener, look at you watching your TV dinner. Like, what? What are we doing?
I thought you were going to say, Meaner Greener, you have a green wiener. Or something like that.
Is that the line?
I don't.
They really missed an opportunity not getting the toadies on this. They really missed an opportunity not getting the toadies on the soundtrack.
Oh,
the toadies!
I don't think they were around then. That would have been great though, but I don't think they were around.
I don't think so. Might be too early for them.
Yeah.
Oh man. So now, after Kicking the Frog plays for 4 minutes and 12 seconds almost, they're done driving the thing. And then how about the last line of that song was ribbit. Just out of nowhere, the song says ribbit. And we have Sam Hell. He's taking out the frogmen with an old pistol. And dude, they have like the stock Western sound effects.
I said that. I wrote something around where like the sound, like it literally sounded like they took it from like an old West movie,
like a spaghetti Western.
It did not fit at all with the guns they had, and like and let's be honest. I mean, like Zadar, like he looks like he's never shot a gun before. Like I don't think he was looking at sometimes when he was shooting it. Like it was just so bad. It was so bad.
He used a sword and hit the guy with it, and didn't like do a sword like follow through. Like even though obviously it's not a real sword, he like hit the guy.
Oh, I know.
The guy died.
It literally was cosplay. Like the fighting was cosplay fighting. You know, like
there were a couple times when Zadar would shoot and then do a ballerina spin and then shoot again instead of it was pretty wild.
And I mean, listen, he's a big guy. Can those pants be any tighter that he was wearing?
Oh, dude. He couldn't move well in this movie.
He couldn't move well.
I feel like he passed away in the late 90s. So I don't know if he had like health concerns throughout. Like obviously you mentioned the thing with the chin.
Yeah.
But dude, he was not moving well. And that's what made some of the fight scenes really bad. Like him getting away or rolling. Like even when the car exploded and he's like rolling away and Denise gets grabbed and they tie her onto the truck pretty quick. They kidnap her.
Ridiculous.
Tie her to the truck.
It was pretty efficient. Yeah.
But I mean, like, so, like, did he make a lot of movies, like B movies, Zadar? Like, I mean, I don't remember him. I don't remember him in anything. Oh yeah,
Samurai
I mean,
Cop.
That's
he's the
right, he
main
was
bad guy.
Samurai
no,
Cop.
wasn't he in Maniac Cop? I thought he was in Maniac Cop.
Mm-hmm.
No, he was.
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
he was in
Well, he's in
Maniac Cop
Samurai
too.
Cop as well.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, isn't that Robert Davi that was in Maniac Cop?
He takes. Doesn't he take? Oh, no. Oh yeah, no. He's the Maniac Cop in all those
Yeah.
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zadaris?
Because our
Oh.
buddy Psycho Cop mentioned that one time he met the writer, I think, of Maniac Cop and said, "I'll kick your cop's ass." or something.
I don't know. He's a big guy.
Oh my god.
And,
Well, one has Bruce
yeah.
Campbell, so.
but they wasted opportunity though. Like well, I'm gonna say it now because I don't want to forget. I feel like the whole Lou Ferrigno thing did not pan out at all. Like they were leading up to something like bigger that was gonna happen, and nothing panned out. Of like giving him all the serum and all that stuff. And I'm thinking like, all right, there's gonna be a big battle with Zadar and Lou Ferrigno. They're gonna be fighting because Lou Ferrigno turned into this bad, like a bad toad or frog, whatever. Nothing. Like there was nothing. Like the point of him turning green did nothing for the rest of the movie. It didn't do anything to him.
Yeah.
Like it was just like a waste of potential, I think.
Yeah, we need
Yeah, if
like
only
the
he had-
almost
if he only had
like
played
the
a
Shatner
character
moment
that-
of almost killing. What were you saying, Nick?
No, I said if only he had played a character previously that turned green and like got really angry and like fought,
But I
Yeah,
mean, I just feel like it was wasted potential. I mean, you have
No,
these
I
two
know.
big guys, give them a battle at the end or something,
or make it
Well,
like a
well,
Tango
what
and
was-
Cash like buddy cop, like where they're like back to back and they're like shoot, like I don't know.
Yeah, but he was green. Like the whole point, like you would think, like he would have turned bad, right? Like that.
Yeah.
The whole point of what they were doing is like it should have worked.
It honestly just looked like he was on heroin the whole time.
Yeah,
Like,
he
it
looked
like he was
sick.
like
He was sick. That's it. Like, it was like it nothing. There was no like finish to what they were doing. Like I feel like it was just a complete wasted plot because it did nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't get any good moments at the end of like almost. Oh no, he's actually a frog. Like and like
Nothing.
one of those like, oh, should
Nothing.
we shoot him? Nothing. Yeah.
Nothing.
Well, if anything's right
payout
for a
for it.
remake.
Well, they already have the third one because I think the third one is about a frog warrior or something.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I forget the name of it because I looked at. Don't
Let's
ask me
find
why.
somebody from that.
Yeah,
Can't wait to be back for that.
Oh yeah, I
one.
can't wait to watch another one.
I was emailing Rhonda like every other day. I need to make Jamie watch this. but so anyway, how about the one frogman that was holding an actual frog? Like the guy in the lair. It wasn't the Czar. It wasn't the Czarmeister. Maybe it was Commander Toad. He would always hold. He would hold a frog.
It was a real frog
every
too.
time he saw.
Well,
Oh my
I
God.
thought you meant the little puppet frog,
Oh my god!
Oh,
which no one mentioned yet. Which I'm surprised it took this long to mention that.
I was
thing.
trying to save it
That's-
because of his teeth. Dude, his teeth.
Oh.
Okay.
He looked like an alien. He looked like a main
he,
alien.
He did not look like a frog at all. At all. Like he did,
Yeah.
So I don't know. Was he considered like a tadpole? Maybe is that what? Because he did.
Maybe.
Like I don't know what he was, but like
I guess that
Again-
makes sense because his name is Junior, so that does make sense. But I can't believe he had the teeth from Alien. Like his
Yeah.
mouth was sitting like that, and he was like, he reminded me of like a character. Again, talking about a movie this is bad, but I always remember him, and like I remember Teak from the Ewok Battle for Endor, just like this character. Like, dude, he didn't have to have funny lines, or we get like a sexual innuendo with him in Frog Nurse's lap. And when they start to like kiss, she is impressed by his tongue and says, "Okay, you can stay." I'm like, what is that?
I would love to like see behind the scenes of like them acting in this movie. Like how do you, as an actor, you take your profession pretty serious, and
Yeah.
you have to talk to this hand puppet as if it's like cause that's what it looked like. It was it looked like a guy, like a hand puppet, and like you're acting with this hand puppet, like and you make some other decent movies. Like it's got to be challenging. It's got to be like
she
you
goes
have to be
home at
saying
night
like,
and her,
what am I doing with my life? Like I'm an
her hu-
actor.
her husband's like, so honey, how was work today? And she's just like, I got to go back to film school or something.
Well, like what did they make this movie knowing it's bad? Like or they make this movie that, hey, you know what, Frogtown did well, I guess, so we're gonna, I don't know, like is this a spoof on like just bad movies? Like what? Like
It's
I don't
somebody
know.
trying to make a bad movie that will have that same lore. Like I think these people were acting like as good as the script was, but when you have those like Samurai Cop, for instance, that movie's so good because everybody in it was really trying. I'm not saying the people in here weren't trying, but the script just didn't fit everything. It just didn't have that same magic of like the Samurai Cop or the
Yeah, but I think the
Room.
difference, like with a movie like Samurai Cop, is like, you have action, right? You have fighting, you have blood, and like that changes things. When you start having frog masks that don't move, and you have a puppet mini frog, like now it changes the entire like. So like, yeah, if you're making a bad movie because you want to I don't know if they went in this, they looked at the script and they're like, wow, this movie's awful. We got to make this.
Yeah.
Like, how does that work? Like, how do you like say, you know what, we're gonna be putting money up for this movie? Like we have to get money, whatever it was, $100,000 they made for this movie, or whatever. Like what? Like I really want to know, like, how does that work? Because there's a lot of bad movies out there, and like, what makes someone say, let's do this movie? Because they can't read it and say
the person that bankrolled this movie like got divorced, and the wife every time she saw him was like, "Oh, hi, let's go see your dad." That funded a movie that had a little frog going down on a frog lady. Like that was in the.
You know what? He actually looked like green
life savings on.
He looked like green sperm. Like a shape of a sperm. That's what he looked like, right? He looked like a slug. Like I don't know, like what he looked like a green, like if he was like a
He looked like a booger, like a
booger. Yeah, he looked like a booger. He did.
Like a big booger.
He did.
God,
I don't know.
So now we get like the so Denise is kidnapped at this point, and when she's brought in,
that awkward scene.
Dude, the Frog King is like making her strip,
That's
and that
so
was it was
weird.
awkward anyway. But how about his snake was kind of moving, like it was like him getting excited, dude.
I know. Watching it, I'm like, I'm gonna be put on a list or something. Like this has got to be. I'm
what, a bestiality list,
or like FBI is gonna come through my door at the moment. And
why?
like,
She wasn't underage. She's not.
It was just.
It was just like
I felt bad for her. I was just like felt bad for her. I was like, you could just tell, like she's just like, oh my god, don't make me do this.
It's one of those stupid movies where you're gonna like it's for no reason. I mean, listen, take every Friday the 13th movie. Why is there a breast scene out of the blue for no reason?
I was literally yelling as she was taking it off. I'm like, keep it on, not for this movie. Don't do it for this movie.
Listen, you know what? She looked great. I mean, so like I think.
She did look
I'm gonna say that she probably didn't care because it was a way for her to take that stupid uniform off.
At least they let her keep her boots on.
Well, what was the
They
point
made
of
her
it?
put the
Because
boots back on.
he didn't look interested in her. Like so, like what was the point of doing that? Because I don't know. Because he literally
humiliate her. Maybe he was a big Diane Franklin fan. I think that's so cool that we talked to both of them because. Just the way that the look is almost like the next Diane Franklin with like the frizzy hair. One thing
shout out to Diane Franklin. Shout out to Diane Franklin.
Denise, she laughed when I mentioned this movie, but one thing she loved was her time with Lou Ferrigno. They did have a lot of scenes together. I don't know how long the movie was actually filmed. I think she said it was like a quick shoot. It was filmed.
Oh,
maybe
I
like
can't imagine
Romania,
it,
like one of those.
Well, he's supposed to be
He's
supposed to be a cool guy. I mean,
yeah.
What's the name? I just listened to the how did this get made? And
he's on.
She used to live next door to what's her name? The one that's covering for June.
Oh, Jessica
her
St. Clair?
neighbor was Lou Ferrigno?
Yeah, she just said it recently on one of the podcasts because when the one with is Hercules. She mentions it.
Oh, really?
Says, yeah, she used to be like it was a short time, but she said she was like, and he was a great guy. Like, yeah, oh yeah,
I can imagine. He's on King of Queens, right?
Yeah. No,
he seems like a cool guy.
No, he seems like a cool dude. So now we get another. Just the line reads are so bad. I don't know if it's like the line read or just hearing the line. Like, is there any way you could do it? Or it seemed like, isn't it from another movie? The I'm Not an Animal. Is that in something else?
Yes, it's from Elephant Man.
So they use that line the way Hopkins, she's saying it.
It was William Hurt and Anthony Hopkins, I think. Yeah, and because people are treating him like a monster, and he says, "I'm not an animal." So yeah.
So Denise says this, and like the weirdest line when they start injecting Lou Ferrigno, and it's like, oh my god, dude!
And just put her clothes back on.
And how big were those needles? Like those things that he would. And they kept injecting them more and more. But he really he had one shade of green. And then it stopped. Like he didn't change. Like I still don't think I don't know what Like again, we have Lou Ferrigno in this movie. He had the least screen time than everybody. He's got to be the biggest name in this movie, no?
And he really didn't do much besides lie on that little cot.
No, that's what I'm
and,
saying. Like he
get injected with stuff.
nothing. Yeah, I don't know.
Until a quick walk off later on walks it all off, and he's able to.
Yeah, I don't know. I just again, you have Lou Ferrigno, the biggest name there. I mean,
Yeah.
Did he didn't have top. I didn't even know he was in the movie. I mean, I didn't look at the credits, but I didn't even know he was in the movie until I saw him.
That is a great surprise then.
Oh, it was. I was shocked.
He does use, obviously, he uses his strength later in the movie. So at least you had that element of it, but it just wasn't, again, it wasn't enough. But this is my first note, so we would have got to it anyway, like Junior. But I wrote, like, how about one of the frog henchmen with just the head?
Oh.
It looks like the alien from Aliens. And then I wrote, why does the main bad guy have a lampshade hat going? I wrote at this point, I go, he's going to be a human. Like we see this guy.
He looked like Raiden. He looked like Raiden. He looked like he had a Raiden.
He reminded me of Dark Helmet from Spaceballs.
Yeah, it was like oversized. Yeah. Like it made no sense. I don't know what he was. I thought he was like gonna be a robot or something. I didn't, like I definitely didn't think the reveal was gonna be the reveal.
I thought that was gonna be Roddy Piper. I thought he was gonna take that off. I was gonna be like,
that'd been awesome.
See? Nope. See, missed opportunity. This movie should be called Return to Missed Opportunity.
Listen, if Roddy Piper's turning down a movie, how bad is the movie got to be?
Well, so
I mean, think about it.
You know me. I did my research.
Okay.
I checked IMDb.
Okay.
And the only thing on the trivia said Roddy Piper only was not in this movie because he was busy with wrestling.
Oh man!
It was the only thing in the IMDb trivia.
So he would have done it.
He would have done it. Probably.
You know what though? It would have been a much better than it. I mean, not that it would have been good. I'm not going to use Doug's words saying it's not a great movie. I'm going to say it would have been better. Maybe it would have been a top 7 worst movies we've done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Without Piper, it's in the top 3.
Okay. Well, so we've covered 2 of the worst movies ever that you've seen this year. This and definitely the Slime Bolorama 2. Right?
You know what? I that's a tough call. Which one is worse? I mean, we have to go back in time and list like all the movies, and I need to really go through my list of worst movies because like
we should rank them after this year.
We have to.
I think we do have a. By the end of the year, we should hit episode 300, so we should do it for that.
Okay.
Go list all the sequels,
all the movies,
and rank them from
rank
1 to 150 or wherever we're at when it comes to that. But yeah,
Mirror 3.
Mirror's looking. Mirror 3 is moving up, man. Wait, is Mirror 3? Which one had Mark Ruffalo?
That was Mirror 3.
Yeah. See, at least it had like the dancing in the kitchen.
He makes the sandwich.
Yeah, I mean, so at least it had something like that, and you had the over the top, Spanish guy, whatever, the greasy. The guy with he had that, but yeah, I mean, Mirror 3 is better than these.
You're the only woman I ever loved. This
Talking
morning.
Pony is like out of the top 10 at this point. I mean, really, with the jokes, that's. I mean,
I love that.
Honestly, Doug, this has to be the worst year of movies. I mean, I think we covered maybe 2 good movies. It's been a battle.
Right, well, we still got 5 months left.
It's only
It's only
June.
Okay, and I know the movies that are coming up, so let's not get too excited.
That is true, but maybe our luck will change. So now we get Zadar makes his way out of there, and he comes back to the drummer for Eye Patch's house, and he goes, "Oh, do you have any water?" And he goes, "Ugh, don't touch this stuff. Want a beer?"
Well, I mean, in his defense, where's he going to get the water from? First of all, where's he getting beer from? He's in the middle. He's in the middle of the woods. Like there literally wasn't one other house outside of the Frogtown, the whole town, and the shed that the Patch lives in. Outside of that, there's nothing. Like even when we see them driving a dune buggy, they're driving through the woods. They're driving on paths. Like there's nothing there. So there's beer.
Oh my god, dude! So now Zadar.
You said this film was filmed in Romania, right?
My guess is I'm pretty sure she mentioned that because she filmed another movie right around this time over there too. But I can see that with the way the ghost town was.
Because there were a couple scenes and it was one scene, but it would cut from desert to in the woods to they were fighting in the rocks and like the Grand Canyon or something. And I'm like, where the hell are we? I didn't know where the hell it was. I don't know.
Yeah. No,
Let's see what I'll see
the scenery was like all over the place. I mean,
Wild. I couldn't get my bearings. I'm like, all right, so wait, what? Are we in Arizona? Or are we in Colorado? Or are we in like Maine? I don't know.
It's so funny. Every time you search for Return to Frogtown, it just redirects you to hell.
It says you're put on a list.
Insane.
It says the FBI is now monitoring.
But you can't get any update on it. But yeah, so Zadar, he flies back. He takes out 2 guys real easy. This is where he hits the guy with the sword. No blood, no nothing. These guys are knocked out. And then, dude, so how about when he's at the club where we played this song earlier? Yep. I'll put the
no
clip
need
on
to
our
do it
social
again.
media.
No need to play it again.
No need to. But the clip of the band singing, the whole thing is crazy because you get all of that song and then you get like instrumentals of something else afterwards. But we see the frog girl at the club and she's wearing her doctor. She's wearing the mask, which is again,
they're all wearing the
us as
same outfits the whole movie. Like what's the time
but
frame?
with her after this point, she doesn't wear it anymore.
Oh yeah,
until later when she's in the lab. But if it's so dumb, something like that was just for the audience to think it's going to be a frog girl from the first one. But really, it's like they were probably like, we don't have the budget for it, so let's get these people tricked until halfway in.
Paint her mouth.
Yeah. So even that scene was bizarre. Like, I mean, it was a mix of like
bizarre Zadar.
Oh my gosh, this movie.
There we go. Now
we had to make our own
jokes.
Dude,
his mask, dude, he reminded me of like the Red Baron. He had like the big goggles on, and he had a wrap on, and I'm like, dude, she's looking right at you. And the best was, she didn't know, right? She didn't know at all until he had to take a sip of his alcohol. What the hell, dude? You outed yourself over a sip of booze.
Yeah. Well, I think the outfits in general in this whole movie, like, I mean, you have these frogs that are wearing things like they should be in Afghanistan, like in the deserts of Afghanistan. Like, it's so bizarre. Like, first of all, why do they even have to wear all that stuff? They're frogs. They're frogmen.
Why did they wear clothes?
Oh, well, yeah. I don't know.
I mean, let's just be thankful that they are. I am.
But so the bar scene reminded me of like a mix between the Cantina, right? You know, like of Star Wars and like Vanilla Ice and Ninja Turtles.
Yes, it was. Dude.
It did have shades of ninja rap. Yeah,
it did. I mean, it's just so bizarre. Like, it's like when did this come out?
91, I think, or 92.
When did the Ninja Turtles come out? Like 80?
First one was 89?
The second
89?
one would have came out afterwards.
No, the first
after
one.
This.
When did the first one?
No, the first one.
Well, first one doesn't have Vanilla Ice, but that was 90.
Okay.
That's right. That was the serious one.
I actually saw it in the movie theater. My parents took me.
The first one was great. I saw it in the movie.
I love the first one.
Casey
Jones?
4.
Yeah.
Come on.
But dude, how about she's like gonna threaten to reveal him unless he like dances with her, and they do like wedding dances, like 6th grade dance, like hold hands like that. I'm thinking it's gonna be like, okay, you have this girl who definitely has a rocking body. Like, all right, frog girl, what are you gonna do? Slow dance? That's what we got out of this whole thing.
I don't remember the other people in this bar. Were they normal people or were they all frogs?
They were all frogs. There's no normal people in this. Yeah, there's no normal people.
So
they weren't like in an area that was mixed or anything. It was like he's in Texas.
Okay, so how many people do you think were in there? Because this seems like the only area that had people except for the villain's lair. Like, how many?
I couldn't
people?
really tell. That fog machine was on full
20
blast.
people?
I couldn't really.
You think there were like 20 people?
30, 40.
Okay, so
Max
you would
tops.
think. Okay, so you would think it's pretty much probably most of the population was here. They're not going to question why this hulking huge guy who no one recognizes
They know everyone,
is there.
right?
They know everybody there, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't even question that why he's there. You know who this guy is.
Well, the only question once that guy wakes up, when that guy finally wakes up, is when he does it.
That's true.
How about like this is when they keep quick cutting back and forth to like Denise and Lou Ferrigno, but one of the lines is because Ferrigno's starting to turn into the frog and he starts getting green and he starts like, this is when he's like getting his ass kicked on the ground And one of the lines was that they said to him was like, "You're a disgrace to Frogtown."
Yes,
That's
yes.
what one of the frogs says to him.
Well, if you're a disgrace, I mean, how low do you got to be a disgrace to that town?
Pretty
It's
low.
pretty serious.
I mean, it's such
That's
it's
very low.
It really the town looks like it's a ghost town. I mean, like literally, like you said, you saw the jail sign there. There's nothing out there. There's the same 6 frogs that we keep seeing. You know, like so. How much worse could it get? Like
Dude, they made up a word in this movie, and I want to kind of get it on a shirt. I think transfrogmation, the transfrogmation process. That's what they're doing to Lou Ferrigno. And then at the same time, again, because you're cutting back and forth, you have that now the guy that woke up. So it's like, oh, can you spot the guy that took your outfit? No, you gonna spot. You can't see any faces in this place. And then at the same time, the nurse is going to bang. And how about that? At first, you thought it was a setup, right? That she was there to, I guess, find anyone. But then, because she starts like kind of ragging on him about Jones, about Ferrigno, like, oh yeah, he's turning. Oh yeah, you're not going to be happy about that. And I'm like, holy shit. And then that's when they have like that deal. They make that very weird deal.
You know, let me ask you this question. And this happens in a lot of movies. Have they ever had where like they knock out like soldiers to take their outfits and the outfit doesn't fit?
They need to. What was the movie they did do that in?
Yeah.
They did it in a spoof movie. Remember they put on a girl's outfit and it was super tight?
They did it in Die Hard, but it was only the shoes. He says,
you're
terrorist.
Yeah, that doesn't count. I'm like,
I kill the one that's fetus
I'm
smaller
talking
than
about
my
like
sisters.
in all these movies, like even Star Wars, like, you know, they knock out they fit exactly into like, I want to see someone like knock someone out and like it's like dragging on the floor because it's so long, like, you know, they can't or it's so short, like it's like becomes like shorts, like, you know, like I don't know. I feel like it wasn't something, but
did Indiana
Jones
definitely
do
one
when
Last
they go
Crusade?
to take out a husband and they take out like a husband and wife. Yeah. Take out like 2 people and one has to wear the girl outfit, but I don't remember.
No, that did happen. No, I agree because there was a guy that had to wear the girl outfit, but that's different also because you're just making fun of it. Where I'm talking about, wearing a soldier's outfit or something like a disguise with the helmets, but like the helmet's like hanging half off because it doesn't fit on their head. Or like I want to see
Loaded Weapon. I don't remember. I just watched Loaded Weapon not that long ago, but I wonder if Loaded Weapon has that gag.
That would fit. That's such a great gag.
Movie,
I mean, it is a great gag. You know, it's just. But yeah, okay. I'm just curious.
I have a quote that I want to put somewhere in my house. Do you remember I put the
so besides transfrogmation, you want something else?
Besides that, it's the line when he finally agrees to get with her and they start to kiss. He says, well, I guess it's goodbye to the things you know and hello to the things you don't know. And that's like when she's about to like go down on him. And then that's when you get like the cock block. You see her green tongue. And then we have like the people come in. But before they come in, he says, I'm in my Rocket Ranger underwear. He says that line when she shows her green tongue.
So you think they have like specific like do they have like Rocket Ranger people on the underwear? Like
it's
that
standard
kind of
issue.
Or do you think
faces?
I say like, you know, like with or like advertising. Do you think it's like that or do you think it's like protective underwear?
Oh,
it's like a chastity belt.
That's probably a better answer.
But
they're flying really fast and high.
They are, but I think it'd be funny. They're like underoos
crotch.
and they're wearing like the Rocketeer all over their underwear. Like, you know. That's... Okay.
Now, at this point, did you guys think that Brian James, the professor, because randomly at this point, he just starts like helping? It was so weird. He's like, hey, I'm going to give you this. And I'm like, wait, is he helping? Because even his voice when he's talking to Lou Ferrigno and quiet, like nobody's around, he's still acting really weird. So I don't know what to do.
Even when he was helping, he was still giving them the drugs, though. Like the needles. So like
no, he was giving them nothing. No, remember he was giving them nothing? Because remember the line by the nurse frog later in the movie? Which her name, I wrote it down somewhere. They mentioned it one time, so they probably cut the times we heard it. Her name was like Kalena or something really not.
No, it was like Chloris. It was like Chloris or something.
Chloris? Okay.
You just said 2 words that can sound very sexual. Colingus? You say colingus?
It rhymes with the female body part.
I'm just saying.
Dolores.
Yeah.
Dolores. But
no, her name is Cloris because that's what Zadar says. He's like Cloris. I don't know.
So what's his motivation then? What's a scientist's motivation?
At this point, I really did like. Obviously, we know at the end what it is, and I have a theory, so I don't want to like fully spoil it before we get there. But at this point, I'm like, what could this guy really be helping out with? Like, why would he want to be? Because you got to think he's like kidnapped. So does he really think he's gonna get out, or unless he knows that these guys are probably the worst bad guys that we've seen? We've seen a lot of bad guys over the last like 6+ years. They're really bad, dude. When we get the line of "We're gonna kill you in the morning," like what?
Well, that's pretty badass.
You got to sleep with that.
See, we can kill you tonight, but we're gonna wait until the morning.
But
oh, great!
Just
and then you're gonna leave Junior and one other person and the nurse to watch Sam Hell. That's a pretty ridiculous.
Does Junior move by himself, or is he always carried?
No.
Right, he's
always on the he's always on the back.
Spoiler
He's like
alert: he does
shoulders.
fly in the end of the movie.
So bizarre. It's so like again like oh my gosh, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now, Sam Hell, welcome to Frogtown. So he's now in Frogtown. He's in there with Jones. And then I'm like, why would they put him in the same cell? And isn't that pretty ridiculous? That I don't know how many people, again, because there's not a lot of people, maybe you don't have to build enough cells. Each town probably says, what's our population? What's the most? That
You
are
saw
get
the size of
arrested
the
at
jail in the beginning
I was
of the
gonna
movie.
say it looked like a very.
I know,
small
but I'm
jail.
saying like, no, what I'm saying is it's crazy that they put two hulking men in the same cell
hulking.
that they could take over.
Wait, that really? Because Lou Ferrigno laid there the entire time. I don't think they feel threatened by Lou Ferrigno whatsoever. I mean, we had to have a montage of him walking for 10 minutes.
Just walking it off.
It was so like, and like she was getting into it. Come on, you could do it. And he's just
all he had to do was get the circulation going. That was all he had to do was just get that
I
circulation.
felt like it lasted forever. Like it was just walking back and forth. Like talk about time killer. That was taking up so much time. Like it was so bad. So bad. Okay.
Yeah.
So Czar Frogmeister at this point with the lampshade hat, he's like now at this point because it's not working. So that's what to me makes no sense. This whole part is that he's pissed because the professor's not getting it right. The professor's helping them, so he's gonna study like these books that are in front of him. And I'm just like, later in the movie, I'm like, what's the point of all this? Like, do people know?
Well, how long has the professor been working on this? Like, are there any other studies around? Like, is the nurse the only one? Like,
was the nurse an experiment of him? Did he experiment on her, and that's why she's like that?
That's what we were saying before. I think. I mean, it's
I
got
would
to
say
be.
that has to be it.
But they don't mention that. But like outside of that, what
that
else
would
are they
help.
studying on? How does he know what's working? What's the right formula if he's not testing it on anything?
How does she know what the right formula is? Because remember when she guesses and she doesn't remember?
Yeah.
But she was the one who outed him when she goes, all she does is smell it and says, "Oh, what is this?" And he goes, "Ugh," and he hits the guy in the head with a freaking thing. He gives up really quick.
His facial expressions, and it just like you know that he was just like having a blast doing that role. I mean, he was hamming it up. I mean, that's so over the top.
I think I said let's not mention it, but I think it makes sense because we're kind of talking about this scene. But what did you guys think? Like at the end, obviously, spoiler alert, like he is the Czar Frogmeister. But like at the end of the movie, when we find that out, like I thought it was going to be a human. I just didn't know who it was going to be. Like it could have been Charles Napier because they didn't show him for a while, which would have been stupid anyway. But when they showed him, then I'm like, wait, at this point, like the professor, he's telling the professor to do better on the formula, but he's the person.
But
telling him to do that.
Does the professor know that's his brother?
Wait, that's his brother? That was the line?
He died, the professor. What are you talking about? He got shot outside.
I don't see.
Wait,
I missed that.
Wait, whoa.
Wait, you missed that?
Wait,
when he got shot in the back?
Wait a second. You thought the professor was also the main bad guy?
Yes, that's why I said
Oh
I was
my
so confused.
God.
So you guys clear that up.
He got killed outside. How'd you miss that?
By his
I
brother.
have kids and I'm watching it while doing stuff.
I
Oh
can't
my
believe.
God.
So you
How
thought he was
dare
doing a
you,
quick
Doug.
change? You thought he was doing a quick change, changing into that thing with the robot
He
head.
Well, I didn't
basically
think he was doing a
basically
quick
Kaiser
change
Soze.
live. I live while watching it. I didn't think it was a quick change,
Oh
but when they
my
revealed at the end, I'm
gosh.
like, that makes no sense.
Yikes.
But I don't remember the line that, oh my God, it's you. Like, it's the brother. They said that?
No.
He gets sniped outside the window. So he's in the middle of the road and he's like, oh, like we won or whatever. And then Dark Helmet Froghead shoots him in the back. And then Zadar flies up to the sniper's nest and they have their little like sword battle thing.
No, but
Wait,
I think he
so
did
then-
mention.
but
I think he does mention my. I thought he said something about my brother or something. I think he did when he
That's
first
nuts.
reveals it.
That's
I could be
nuts.
wrong, but I think they. Yeah, I mean, I can't believe you thought that was the same person. That's amazing.
I missed that. I missed him getting shot.
You know what?
And
That
I
would've been-
missed hearing a line of, "Oh my God, your brother!" Like when they revealed the turn of the face, because
Yeah.
they showed the half normal, and then the other
Yep.
side. You're telling me they're twin brothers that talk and act the same crazy? That's nuts.
Again, maybe the brother doesn't know that's the bad. I don't know. Like they don't explain anything. I think that would have been a
That's
better
bad.
reveal. I think that if he did both, that would have been way better.
Like Kaiser Soze.
Yeah. I mean, that would have been a better thing. Like, you have this nerdy guy who speaks like ridiculous, but then he's the mastermind behind everything. It's not
he's
really
the brain.
right, and that would make more sense. That how he know what he's trying to do, But
He's
yeah.
Pinky and the brain.
Yeah. Oh man. So, but yeah,
That's what I thought. Because I'm like, because that's why
That's funny.
later
that's amazing.
when I thought that at the end, I was like, dude, why would he be telling himself to do better and then not be doing the formula? And then he has the books and he's like, I'm gonna study more. I'm like, this is so stupid.
well,
Okay, this
That's-
movie I got a little bit better.
Might have
got
to
A
better?
little bit.
no, 'cause
Now
they
that
don't.
I understand that,
now,
yeah.
in fact, I think it's even worse now because they don't even explain any of that. They
No,
don't
they don't.
explain
Yeah.
why the brothers do it. Like, do they explain why the brother looks like a robot, half robot, and why he's doing that?
No.
They
Oh,
mentioned
okay.
something in the beginning about how he died. The whole time they were like, "Oh, he died," but I don't
Well,
know,
that was
they
the
were-
professor he thought that died. No,
yes.
no. For
Oh,
Zadar, Sam Hell thought the professor died. So then that's why when he remember he was like, I couldn't say I knew you in front of them because
Mhm.
I had to pretend like I didn't know you.
Okay,
Like, oh,
so
okay.
let me ask you this question, and maybe I missed it in the beginning. What's the plot of this movie? What was Lou Ferrigno going for? Like, why was he going there?
They're just patrolling. So
Oh,
the
that's
whole
all-
point of this movie is basically like the Frogtown people aren't allowed to have guns. That's all. That's really the whole plot of the movie because they reveal at the end really quick. Oh, well, it's great. Now that they have better, their leaders are gone. If they are good for a year, then they get their guns back. So that's the whole point of this movie. So the thing I wrote down was, why do they have to patrol it? Like, if you have a abandoned building in your town that's really spooky, you don't go inside. You just avoid it. Why do they have to go into Texas? It's not, you don't have to go through it to get anywhere.
Well,
It makes no sense.
I don't know the first movie, so how did the frog people get there?
Oh, I don't remember that, honestly.
Oh,
I just remember Piper having he was like the sperm king,
Yeah.
and they used him to impregnate women.
Okay, I was just curious, why are they there? And not for nothing, why are the frog people staying there? Like, if they're being patrolled and they can't do, why are they not moving? I mean, it's only 8 of them. Go somewhere else. Like, why are they staying right there? They have cars. It's not like they don't have cars.
They do have cars. They have
Yeah.
trucks and flatbeds. This movie is basically behind enemy lines, but with frogs.
Do
That's
they have
basically
do they have a tow truck?
Oh, my God, I hope so. See, that would be, I would love if they laid into that a little bit more. Like,
tow truck.
oh, he croaked. Like, that'd have been good if they laid into that, dude. Like,
You know
there's
what?
so many different.
They might as well, because the movie's so awful. I think if you had those stupid one-liners, all that stuff, I think it would have
Yeah.
at least added a little humor. Like, there was no humor in
Maybe
the
like
movie.
they get it, It's
Yeah.
like they get the joke, dude. How about when
Like-
the professor's
like-
injecting Ferrigno and he's kind of turning more green, which he's really not because this is when he's supposed to be getting better. The frog lady is so excited that he's a green man like her.
Yeah. That's
One
So
of
stupid. So
us.
stupid.
One of us.
One of us. Google goggle.
so stupid.
So now he's strong enough at this point. He breaks the bars. They get out. So
Oh, this is wait again. This is after he walks. He got stronger by walking back and
Right.
forth.
He
just
did.
walked
Yeah,
it
he
off.
walked around for a little bit.
Okay.
But why is Sam Hell? They're trying to escape a very quiet place. Why is he screaming?
Was
He's
excited.
like yelling.
So okay. So before he's strong enough to break the bars. Now, is that because he had frog serum in him, or he's just that strong? He's their strong soldier that can break bars. They don't explain that at all.
I'm gonna go with that. That what he was given him made him stronger. That's what I was hoping they would reveal. That's why I was hoping he'd do it in like more of a crazier way to show him
100%.
super strong.
Yeah. But they didn't like. They was like, "Come on, you can do it," and you had to see him struggle a little bit, trying to like. It just like so dumb. Like they really didn't use him. I still think he should have turned bad. He should have turned, and they had that fight, and then they kind of wake him up somehow. You know, like the kiss from the frog woman wakes him out of his thing. You know, I don't know.
Funny. I thought this was his best acting performance.
He didn't do anything. He was barely on screen.
I know that's
It could be. I just can't believe there's no security cameras in Frogtown, and there's no other guards they
Wait.
could have used.
Again, this is a ghost town. You think they're gonna have high tech equipment there?
They don't
Or
have
at least
Wi-Fi.
have your best guards. You leave these guys that you're like, oh my god, this is so amazing. We caught these guys. We're gonna kill them, but let's leave them by themselves.
Best guards? They got 5 guards. You don't have much to choose from.
Use them all.
Well, none of them know how to fight. I mean, they fall down pretty easy with one little swing of a stick or whatever. They're on the ground. Like like the fight scenes were so like non-confrontational. Like it was so like ridiculous. And this is where the Western sound effects really comes into play. Like this was a whole shoot.
Dude.
This
When
is
they
a
get
whole
outside
shootout.
and you actually
That's what
see the Western town. Like,
oh
where
my gosh, it was
I
so
know.
ridiculous. Yeah.
When he's running through the forest or the woods.
You know what's probably the scene that they did over and over again? Like, because you have the music that added a lot of runtime because we heard the whole songs. How about every time that like Commander Toad guy would come up to Brian James and be like, Czar Frogmeister is wanting to see where you are with the serum. And he'd be like, oh, it's not ready yet. 1 hour. And they'd be like, all right, I'll be back in 1 hour. It's
He
like,
does that about 4
what?
times in the movie.
Dude, I know, dude. I was like, wow, this is terrible. Why are we doing that?
Well, because they needed runtime. I'm amazed. How long was the movie? It wasn't short.
1:29.
Yeah,
It's
it was
a
like
long
90
time.
minutes.
They could have made this in 60 minutes.
Oh no, 100%.
Let's just
Cut it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how about now that you guys again, now I'm gonna watch the end. Hopefully there's something online that I can read about. But like, so Brian James, when he gets away and he's talking to them, he says about like who is the Czarmeister? And he says, wait, we'll discuss that later. So he says that because he knows it's his brother? Like, why wouldn't he say that right then and there? That's crazy to me.
I don't
That's
think he
why
knew.
I thought it really
he know?
was. Now that would make me, again, if it really was him, that line's even crazier. Then I'm like, yeah, we'll talk about that. It's me later. Like, why?
You know what? Yeah, I don't want to do it, so I'm going to ask Nick to do it. You need to do a deep dive into rabbit hole of this movie and get the details. I'm sure you can find. Maybe Wikipedia has like the plot, and maybe we'll say
I'll just
like,
go to those 2 scenes. It has to be like when he gets shot. Right?
You want to watch it
It
again?
has to be.
I'll DM Ferrigno.
I'll watch my parts that I have to.
Oh, the fact that you thought that they're the same person, I think makes this whole podcast that
That's
much
so
better.
funny.
Worth
That's
it really
so
is.
funny.
Thanks.
It really is.
I appreciate it.
You know, and so in your mind, this is a Rip Torn moment.
Pretty much is. Nothing will beat a Rip Torn moment.
No, but I mean, we have a few
it's
that
up there.
you know. Yeah, it's up there. All right.
It is. So
Rip
so
Torn.
at this point, so now they're back at the base, right? What the fuck is that? Is there a frog in here?
That
There's just a frog in my foot.
would have been amazing if a frog just jumped in front of your camera.
Could you imagine? This is the time of year that the creatures, because of the weather, they sneak into the studio, which is a lot of fun.
Yikes! Yeah.
Yeah, not cool. So now, so then back at the base, we see Charles Napier, who's barely in this movie, but he's just like pacing back and forth at this point. So then I'm like, How is he? So they've been up this whole movie. Like nobody slept. Maybe Denise, but Zadar definitely now.
Well, what's the time
And-
frame of this movie?
a day. It's literally
It's got to be a day.
A day because it's full time. And then the only time we get like a time jump
No,
is the
a
"we'll kill
day?
you at sunrise."
You're right.
Because they don't sleep, dude. When we see Zadar in the beginning, he meets
They've done so
Spangler.
much. They went
They
to the
fly.
nightclub.
They fly right away. They
Mm.
meet Eye Patch.
I think it's 2
Eye
days
Patch,
because
they
don't forget
get
Eye Patch.
kidnapped.
Yeah, but
Oh,
Eye
yes,
Patch
maybe
had that
2 days,
nightmare.
yeah.
Eye Patch had the nightmare. Or
Yeah,
dream.
yeah,
Oh,
he
that is
slept.
true.
He
So-
woke up.
But I mean, once they get to Frogtown, that's all one day. That's all.
that's
Yeah.
all. Okay,
Well, but Lou Ferrigno does sleep most of the movie.
He does.
he's asleep the
He has a
whole
good-
movie.
He has a good gig. He stays up all night, like the night before, and he just like sleeps on set.
Matt, can you imagine? Like, Matt, I wondered that call with his agent. Listen, we got you a role in a sequel. All right, great. You're not gonna talk, and you're gonna be sleeping the whole time. But I'm Lou Ferrigno. Like this, is like it should have been like he would like when do I fight someone? No, you're not. You're gonna sleep the whole time. We're gonna have this other guy fight. I mean,
All right, fine, I'll do it. Oh yeah, one more thing. You're green. Click.
No, not again.
Yeah. So I do love when they're getting ready for the executions. They start playing music. There's like frog music playing to set the whole thing, and the frog lady basically again, even though she wants to bang Zadar and help him, at the same time she like has her allegiance because she narcs on the professor. So she's trying to make the potion. So it doesn't. Oh yeah. So I wrote it down. Yeah, the nurse's name is Chloris. I'm like
Close.
what
It is close. It is close. Yeah, I looked it up
Yeah.
before.
So Junior wants to help her with like the potion, and I'm like, what the hell? And then she turns on Junior and locks him in the cabinet. So you have the one guy that's gonna protect this guy that can kill everyone, and he gets locked into a tiny.
And how does
cabinet.
Junior know how to make it? He should know how to make it.
No, he likes her. I think he likes her. They
No,
did
but
have
no,
a
but he-
night.
Yeah, but
He
she
said he
asked
knows.
him.
Yeah.
She asked him. She's like, Junior, how do I make
Yeah,
it? And he's
yeah,
like, oh, you
yeah.
don't know? You should. And then he's
Yeah.
just like, fuck you,
I
little-
thought she locked him in there because again she couldn't trust Junior yet. That's why she locked him in there.
Yes, and then she bandaged his mouth, and then I wrote, and I'm not
Oh,
joking, even though I know this is Frogtown everything, but he didn't look like a frog, and I go, oh my god, he's a frog. And I'm like, because he's like, you better, doesn't he say like, you better not rib it or something?
He
says
says
like
something.
that.
Yeah, I didn't know he was a frog either. Like so, I mean, like, but the fact that she does gag his mouth was, I mean, so ridiculous.
It was really funny, dude. Oh my god.
How much better would that have been if it was like Rodney Dangerfield's voice coming out of him, like or something, or like,
Or Dom DeLuise, maybe?
well, I
Maybe.
mean, he's already.
Yeah.
So wait, quick question, completely random. How long? What's the time difference between this movie and was it Rainbow? What was the one that Napier was in? 3?
No, he was in 2.
He was in.
He's
2.
the one. What do you say?
Yeah, Murdoch. I'm coming for you.
Murdoch,
I'm coming for
to
you.
get you.
Yeah.
Which would have been the
Yeah.
same if that was him in the dark helmet at the end. That would have been pretty much Rambo because he's like the good guy.
Oh,
In the beginning.
Yeah,
Oh.
But
no,
I'm
Rainbow
just-
2 is mid 80s, 85, 80.
so that was before
Rainbow
this.
3 is the one that took a little bit longer to make.
I'm just wondering, like, so you went from working with like Stallone on this big budget like action movie, and now you're working on like Return to Frogtown, and I just wanted to know the time difference there. Okay.
Yeah.
All
no.
right.
Yeah, but it wasn't like he
It
was
is
in
crazy.
tons. Like, listen, when you're a side character, man, I think you take any gig you can, right? You know,
Yeah.
you gotta. So
You get your
I mean,
face. That's what being a character actor is
Yeah.
being that.
yeah,
Like that one documentary on it that's called The Guy in That Thing.
yeah. I want to
He
see
said so many people walk up to me and say hi.
that. Yeah,
They never. Some people don't even think I'm the actor. They say like, "Oh, did we
You
go to
look
school
like-
together?"
or you look like
Yeah,
that
because-
guy.
Yeah, dude. Because it's like you're that familiar face that is in multiple shows while you're
Absolutely.
flipping through the channels,
There's-
and
and
you don't
there's-
get that with a main star
No.
for the most
Like-
part.
Like Al Jeong,
100. Well, he's got the most
Oh,
credits.
that-
so
where
anyway.
you're like, dude, you're
Yeah.
like two of the best movies like of all time.
and never seen
Yeah.
and never said one word ever.
Yeah.
I mean, and the best thing about him, and he's in Gangs in New York. I mean, he's in everything. Like he looks like he could kick ass, and he gets his butt kicked in every single movie.
Every
Like,
single movie.
He
Yeah.
never like, and he only lasts like 2 seconds. He's never like
Mhm.
he has that look though, like he could really like give Jet Li or whatever like a good, and he only lasts 2 seconds. He's like the first one out, and then his first one back and back and forth every time.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
So I wrote this too. Like the fight scenes are pointless, even though we did get that setup that we've had in a lot of movies. Right? There's been a lot of sort of action movies we covered, and it's like, oh come on. And then you get something like you mentioned Stallone, the Stallone and Devon Sawa fight at the end of Escape Plan 3, like. That what the fight scene in that last thing, it was like, all right, this kind of made it worth it. And then there was the receptionist scene with, the great Heidi Lewandowski, who we talked to, like one of our first interviews. She talked about this amazing that she was the receptionist in this epic fight scene. But it's like you have that, but with this, they had to set up for it because we did get like all these two guys. But nothing, dude.
Nothing.
You could have two guys like almost like Double Dragon or the end of Death Wish 3. Like
nothing.
You have two guys that work in together. And nothing.
Nothing. And again, I think, and nothing with the frogs also because like I don't think they can move. So those fights were lame. But I still think like if anything, it should have been Czar and Lou Ferrigno. They should have had some kind of fight. It would have been great that again since you're throwing these stupid things in there, have them like turn to like almost like the Hulk. Like come out like people like even though he's turning green, like make a spoof of it, like make him look like the Hulk because he is turning green. That would have been good. Like it's something like nothing. And
then Zadar makes like an Iron Man joke and stuff.
Oh,
he's like, man, I got to be a real Iron Man to beat you or something like that. I don't know.
This is way before the Avengers.
I don't know.
Really?
No, the comic books are already out.
They were. Yeah, but
I don't know.
No, the one line he did make was, which it didn't fit because Ferrigno didn't really beat the crap out of the guy. Like you thought Ferrigno was going to be like demolishing him, and Zadar was doing fake boxing while Ferrigno did all the work. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I knew you could take care of it." I'm like, it would have been cool if it was like a real action star.
I know.
A Seagal like,
correct.
And like, nah,
nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
He did have that Seagal energy though. Like he looked like he just didn't want to like do any kind of physical.
Well, I mean,
like Seagal now.
But does he do action? Like, did he do action in the past? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know anything. Like
Zadar?
Yeah. Like, I don't know.
Well, that's all of his. He was always in action.
But he does the action. Like, I mean,
but was he?
Yeah, I guess he doesn't really fight. He's the big guy that has, he's the main henchman in a lot of those movies.
Like I said, I don't know any movie I've seen. I bet you there's movies that we've seen that didn't realize he was in the background or something like that. Like, like he could have been there with that, like Red Heat. Maybe one of the bad guys in there or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like Black Rain or something.
No, he's good. He could be like, what's his named older brother? The guy from a guy who I'd love to interview for the podcast. The guy, what the heck? I can't think of his name. Oh my God. He plays Flat Top in Dick Tracy. He's in
he's the same one from Seagal's movie. He's Richie. In Out for Justice.
Richie.
That's a
Anybody see Richie Lupo?
That was the best scene ever.
Yeah.
I might have to watch that tonight. Now that every time I think of Seagal, I'm like, I gotta watch something.
Out for Justice.
I scrolled past Under Siege 2 on
he always has the stash, like the big like mustache.
He's always a good bad guy, but he plays Richie and Out for Justice. That whole scene, the bar scene is great.
Oh dude. That's the best.
Yeah. All right.
So back to this movie.
Do we have to?
Yeah. As a palate cleanser.
Can we talk for Alfred Justice more?
No, we can't.
All right.
We can't. So now somehow this is what's crazy about this whole scene. So Sam Howell's like beating the crap out of everyone, right? Because he's able to get loose again after getting because I kind of skipped over it. Like they're beating up everyone, then they get kidnapped. They sequester what's his name with Junior and the nurse. Then that's when the nurse ties him up and all of that. But then right away he gets loose. He beats the crap out of two guys, and then he's like running away. They run past him instead of doing the great Scooby Doo of like, he's the guy trying to get away. He follows them and he gets to his rocket pack and gets caught. How?
And he knew exactly where that section was. Like he was in the middle of nowhere when he was taken away. How did he get there? How did he get to that spot?
I know. Why would that still be there? Like, how big is their land that he was able to hide? Like, they don't have radar. Like, they have the other.
No, they don't have radar. Security cameras, radar. They have nothing. They have nothing there.
Upgrade. Get a credit card.
But
Come
somehow they have a whole band and drums and guitars. That they have.
I mean, you gotta have that. I mean, just in
And
case.
music that goes to the beats of the song. So they're set up, man. They have a pretty good
sure.
setup. But I do love that Junior ratted his friends out. I know we talked about Junior ratting that whole scene, but he was ready to like spill the beans just because Sam Hell said, maybe I'll let you lead this place after we take it back over. I'm like, what is that?
Why would he want to leave?
I don't know.
Yeah, like what? It's so like the whole Junior thing is so bizarre. I mean, it really is. And were there any female frogs?
No, don't worry.
Just
No,
the nurse.
just
but
the
she-
nurse.
Which is weird. In the
So
original,
is-
there's a lot of female frogs.
Okay,
She was
so
a
is the nurse his mom?
Oh, I don't know. I don't care. I don't
Well,
know.
there's no other female frogs there. There wasn't one female frog. And Junior's pretty small. So he was recently born.
Yeah, that is true. He's Junior.
So
Must
so
have been a deleted scene or something.
it might be so she might be the mom. And so is he gonna grow like is he gonna grow like legs?
I hope
and,
it's
like,
not the mom. He went down on her. Don't gross.
Yeah, that's.
But he's a frog. Maybe frogs do that. I don't know. I don't know the mating habits of a frog.
Frogs. The grossest
Are
of the animal
okay,
kingdom.
Are frogs
Thanks, Richard
wait,
Attenborough.
Okay, are frogs unisex? Like, do they? Need
I
a
just
female?
googled it. They're not.
Okay,
I know. I just googled it, and now it's going to be probably all over my ads. But it says it involves a male frog climbing onto the back of a female and grasping her with his forelimbs. So yeah. So that's how that works.
Okay. thank you.
So yeah. So
Well-
now Sam Hill is caught again. So this is when he gets caught again. He's trying to fly away, and I love that the executionary.
he got caught. By the way, he got caught about 4 times in this movie.
Yeah, he's really bad at his job.
He was
All right.
following them.
Awful.
He could have waited until like he was fully clear, or grab his gear and bend. He was like putting it on, standing straight up.
So this is your patrol team, who gets caught very easily.
Yeah, they're pretty bad.
I think you need better. Well, they kind of like Frogtown. They only have 5 patrol people that live together, and they only have 8 frog people. So
Some of them have one that's flying with an eye patch. You can. I can't. If I get something in my eye, I can't walk.
His
And
depth
this guy's able to
perception is
fly.
all
Yeah,
off.
but he doesn't have an eye patch at the end of the movie.
He does. What do you mean?
No, he
Yeah, he
doesn't.
did.
No, he didn't. That's why I didn't recognize him when he landed. He didn't have an eye patch when he landed.
Oh, maybe it blew off.
And he saw it out of both eyes. I'm almost positive. What, Doug? When you go
Dude,
back,
that's nuts. That's nuts.
okay.
When
When
I
you go back and look,
and
you have
rewatch
to.
for the
I'm
brother
telling you,
thing,
I'm willing to bet he does not have an eye patch at the end of the movie. Write
please,
it down.
somebody
make sure you
listening at Sequels Only, save me time and let me know. Was that Brian James's twin, or was it Brian James
No,
for
no,
some
it-
crazy reason?
no,
forget.
was
It
never-
definitely was a twin. That one you don't have to know, but I want to know:
Okay.
does he have an eye patch at the end of the movie? Because he doesn't. I'm telling you, he doesn't.
Mm,
I'm telling you, he does not.
all
Okay,
right, all right.
you watch.
all right.
You watch.
So now the firing squad, I wrote, even they're horrible bad guys because they're like, the whole plan was to get Ferrigno to do it, to show his allegiance. And obviously, Brian James, the good twin, I guess, was the one that was giving stuff so he wouldn't be under the spell of it. So dude, I thought the frog nurse was going to die. When they had everybody lined up, I thought she was going to be the one to have a kill. Nope. He reverses it, and then we have the Rocket Ranger with the eye patch fly down. I guess no eye patch
No eye
at this
patch.
point.
Yeah.
No,
And they're all fighting, dude. Denise gets out like I don't know where they're all fighting.
Why didn't Junior fight? I wanted to see Junior fight.
I know that'd been good.
So bad.
like looking like a little Yoda, like just
Yeah.
like
He actually looks like a little Jabba the Hutt.
He looks
Kinda,
like
yeah.
he looks, no joke, from Spaceballs
Yes.
when they order the special.
Oh yes.
And it pops out of the stomach. That's who Junior look. He has the bit. It's insane how they give him that like goofy friggin' teeth. But again, we get another the sword fight. It opened up like pretty good. The frog was good sword fighting, like the way he was moving the sword, but then just trying to make contact. They should have like sped up the film or something.
Like I said, it was
was just
cosplay.
so
It literally looked
bad.
like it was just like our timing of everything, and like it was bad. It was really
there's
bad.
one scene,
Yeah.
there's one part where Zadar's literally holding the blade of the sword, and I'm like, when did that cut your fingers? I don't
Yeah,
know.
but they've done that in movies. I mean, not that you're not gonna cut.
He
Your
was
fingers,
wearing
but-
gloves, so I guess yeah.
Was he?
Never mind. Yeah,
He
he
was
was wearing like leather gloves. Yeah.
Oh, so he's
I'll
wearing
give-
he's wearing sword-proof gloves.
Yeah.
So,
Sword
yeah.
proof.
Yeah.
Never mind. I answered my own question.
Right next to fireproof.
Oh man.
So now the frog dude, when they had the standoff when it's the Tsar Frogmeister and he has like the machine gun, he's holding a machine gun, and then somehow Junior distracts him, and then that is when we get the reveal. And that's when I wrote because I'm gonna admit it.
That is amazing.
I wrote, what a fucking twist. How is Brian Jones the Frogmeister? How? Like, wasn't he giving Brian orders?
That is amazing that you thought that a movie like this could have a major twist.
Of
that,
all the
like,
scenes to miss.
like the movie is so not creative whatsoever, and you thought that a movie that
And that would have
literally
blown your mind.
that would have a great twist like that, because that is a pretty good twist. If he was like, did both right, there's no creativity in this movie. There's no way
No,
they
it's
would have a
not.
twist.
Except
In fact,
the songs. The
wait a
songs
second.
are written pretty funny.
Oh yeah. Well, in fact, I think not only did they not have a twist, they took the easy way out and made it an evil twin. Like that's that's so not creative, and that's what they did. So yeah.
Well, the easiest way out was the end of the movie.
Well,
so we get like that happens, and then he's taking the gun from him really quick, and then it's like, oh no, run! And then we get like a sort of explosion, and then what do? We cut to them saying goodbye outside. So what happened in between the sort of explosion, big light thing that showed up, and then he's saying goodbye to his lady? His frog lady he didn't bring with him,
which made no sense because he said, "Take me with you." The other question, the main question, maybe this might be the biggest question of the whole movie: how'd they have a rocket the size of a Junior?
Dude, that was my question for you. It's and it's perfect that Nick's here for two of these things: the bad mask, and also Ghoulies Go to College, the perfect clothes.
Yep.
In this, they had that suit that day. It was that day. They got back and he's flying already.
Yeah, it's insane. So again, I mean, Frogtown. I wonder, like, again, since it's a third movie, is it the same Frogtown that they keep going back to? Like, is that like? So I wonder if there's anyone from this movie in that third movie. Like,
I don't know.
Like
maybe
Junior?
hopefully Junior.
Junior. See,
so.
that's
we have to cover it, dude.
Oh,
get on it.
Ferrigno could still do it.
Sure.
No?
Ferrigno could do it. He could be Charles Napier now. Everybody could switch the roles.
Awful.
But the last word of this movie, ribbit.
It should have been like when they got the script, they should have said, "Rip it."
Rip it.
rip the script. That's what
Rip
they
it in half.
Ribbit good.
Yeah.
So that was Frogtown 2, Return to Frogtown. Jamie, what would be like, do you think, trying to think of like, is there any way they could make a movie like this today and actually make it good? Like if you had good people, like not saying Gerard Butler, but who would you want to play Sam Hell if you could cast the movie
Well,
now?
here's the thing, right? I think this movie would have been, not that it would have been good, but you needed like a wise guy like a Piper, right? Like if Piper was in the same role as Zadar, and like
Kurt Russell, dude. Kurt Russell could have done this.
It could have, right, and he has the same attitude. Like I just think like the interaction with the frog people, you needed someone to be like a wise guy to them, the whole movie. And Zadar, really, he's not an actor, right? Like so, like
he
he's
very.
very,
I know he wasn't.
He's
good
very
enough
dull. He's just dull, right? Like there's no like charisma. There's nothing. So like that adds to like the bore. Here's your hero who has no charisma, he literally has no energy. He's just like a presence on the screen. That's really what it is. And he is hard to look at. He looks like you said. He looks like Tony Clifton, in this movie with the mustache.
Wild.
And like so, like so I think if they had like a wise guy kind of actor, like again, like Piper, I think it would have changed the movie.
Like Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about today. I mean,
Ryan
Reynolds, Chris Pratt. I mean, like could have done it. I'm saying, but back then I just think they needed
Eddie Murphy. You needed Eddie Murphy.
No, because Eddie Murphy did Pluto Nash.
He did
and
the
all
Golden
that crap.
Child.
Well, that was. But no,
Golden
like
Child was
old
good.
Eddie Murphy, like
I
Beverly
know, but
Hills
I'm saying
Cop.
he did
like,
those type.
Imagine
of
Axel Foley
movies.
as that character. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, but it would be cool if obviously nowadays like people aren't going to take like chances like that. But like the way the Toxic Avenger, which is amazing, that one of our first guests in our first year, Luisa Guerrero, who we talked to her for. I'm trying to think what even movie we covered her for. I feel like she was in the beginning when had so many interviews because of it might have been right near COVID, right? That we got her because I remember she was a bonus, but she was in like the new Star Wars Mandalorian. She played like the suit of Nick Nolte's voice character. So like she's Toxic Avenger in the movie. Like she's the one in the suit.
That's awesome.
When Dinklage changes over, which is pretty neat. So it's like it'd be great if like that movie does really good, and they did do that to older movies.
Well,
that like this movie, like
I
even
see
the
that
original,
happening.
you couldn't do that because of the whole like, oh, this guy's gonna bang the frog. That's this movie they could have kind of almost could do, and just lean into it.
Honestly, I think that's part of it. Also, like there was no violence in this movie at all. Like if
none.
if they did like a little, even if it was cheesy, cutting an arm off or something like it, again adds a little something to it, but there wasn't, and I think there wasn't enough. There was just too much cheese. There was too much bad acting, bad sounds, bad costumes, bad everything. So yeah.
So
this
Nick,
movie makes the Adam West Batman look like John Wick. Let's just say that.
Yeah, no, 100%. So Nick, you've seen a lot of bad movies. But like, so this movie, I always said like Frogtown. I'm trying to think, is there any other animals off the top of your head that you could see? Like, frog is pretty obscure to pick, like to write a movie as like, oh, everybody's turning to. Like, what is there any other animals that you could see being made into this type of movie?
Well, that's an interesting question because like a frog is not scary. Like, I mean, like, I don't think
I know.
That's what I'm saying. So like for them to pick a frog, like, all right, it's a frog person, big deal. What are they going to do? Like
a duckbill platypus or something, or like an anteater.
Well, that's like Howard the Duck. That's but which you know what? If Toxic Avenger, I could see them doing a new Howard the Duck.
Oh, they could definitely do Howard the Duck now, and it's Marvel.
But it should be like it really should be like a hyena people or something like that. But then
like wolf, like
but now just laughing the whole time.
The problem is now you have the island of Dr. Moreau.
Dr. Moreau,
really that's what you're creating. So I think it's you got to have these obscure things like maybe alpaca people.
Alpaca people, which is kind of nuts. That I know it's like silly. The whole movie's silly, but like the fact that somebody wrote the movie, it gets made, and you have like Frog with a mask, like it's wild.
Well, not even it gets made. Like that to me, that's the easy part, right? The easy part is writing the story. The hard part is you're going to the agent is going to these actors, and hey, I got a great role for you, and you're reading this script, and you're still taking it. Like, so like to me, the fact that you have like a Lou Ferrigno or Zard has made other movies, or anyone else in this movie, like going into this, are you saying this movie like going to be awful, or is this movie going to be like, you know what, I'm just going for a paycheck, I'm not going to be embarrassed by it?
Hey, Nick, thanks so much for joining us. Can you put your thing on mute because we're getting feedback from us talking?
Sorry, my head. I don't know.
Just put your speakers on mute on your laptop. Good now, because we can't.
Basically,
I know you can hear us, but you're good.
Sorry about that. But, I don't know why it like cut out. I thought you guys went on mute for a second. I'm just like,
no worries, dude. But thanks, Nick. Thanks so much for joining us. Now, next,
so I would definitely recommend this movie. By the way,
you would recommend it. Shut up.
It's free on YouTube. Why not?
There's a lot of reasons why not.
There's a lot of free movies on YouTube that I would watch.
I have a lot of walls to stare at. I'd rather do than watch this movie. So
I don't know. Put on the
toadies. It was a lot of
toadies.
fun to discuss. And like I said to Nick before, Nick goes, "Oh, now that I watch this, can I get Dark Knight?" And I'm like, dude, Dark Knight, it would just be like more of like, remember, it would be like the Chris Farley show. Oh yeah, remember that scene? That was awesome. Like when we covered Aliens, like we could find stuff to talk about, but these
good movies
are
hard.
Yeah,
good movies are challenging. But you got to find that middle ground, right? You got to find that movie that it's a good movie, that you'll watch here and there. You watch it again, but it's not great. Those are the movies you could do. Movies like this, they're easier to talk about.
Where would this fall?
Hopefully deep in the ground and never get seen again. That's how far. That's how far it falls. Hopefully in the volcano.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks so much for joining us. So
next
up, it's this is one of those times that we're using a sequel that is kind of not it is a sequel because they do have some of the characters from the first two films, but just next week's guest, the amazing Musetta Vander, we covered her two sequels. It's very rare that we talk to somebody and they do have sequels that we've covered all of them. We already covered Mortal Kombat 2. We already covered Oblivion 2, but it was still amazing to talk to her about her career. So we're going to cover Transylmania, which has the characters from Dorm Daze, Days 1 and 2, which has a fun cast. Jennifer Lyons is great in that flick, an amazing interview. But Musetta was so cool, talking about her journey from South Africa, where she's growing up in the country where there's freaking monkeys everywhere, dude. And she comes to America. She's in music videos, some really cool ones, like a Tina Turner video. She's like the star of the video. Talked about her break early on, being on like a Murder, She Wrote, some cool stories from that. Oblivion 2, and of course Oblivion, and then being almost the same exact character in a monster movie, Wild Wild West. Obviously, it didn't work out, but she had a bigger role after she auditioned. She was great. So much fun talking to her about her life and her career. So yeah, so don't forget to review, rate, share our podcast, follow us on all social media at Sequels Only, and don't forget to check out our website, sequelsonly.com. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
All right. All right. On that note.